We'll now turn attention to the Ghana Premier League, which kicks off this weekend, this Friday. I don't know, but I have a feeling that we're going to really have an exciting league this season. Perhaps this season may be one of the best or the best in the last 2 decades. It's only a feeling, but the clubs and the Football Association must deliver that kind of experience so that indeed we are sure that, yes, it's a season worth remembering, it's a season worth talking about. But I don't know, I have that strong feeling that this season will be an exceptional season. These are the fixtures for match day 1 of the Ghana Premier League. As mentioned earlier in the introduction, Hearts of Oak will play Hoho United at 7 p.m. on Friday at the Accra Sports Stadium. Their major announcement, we'll get to that very soon. But on Saturday, my pick for game week 1, Brekum, Chelsea against Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Undoubtedly, the biggest fixture for game week 1 will happen at the Golden City Park Saturday at 3 p.m. Gold Stars will commence their title defense against Bechim United. That's a tricky duel at the Dance Park in Bechim. Then Heart of Lions will host Dreams FC at the Kwando Stadium. Basake Holy Stars up against 11 Wonders. Vision FC will play Samatex. Young Apostles will take on Mediama. And then Karela Adriana Stars. Nations FC will play returnees Swedro or Black. So the official kickoff of the Ghana Premier League is scheduled for Friday at the Accra Sports Stadium. There's a special guest of honor, the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will be there at the Accra Sports Stadium. There's a curtain raiser, Black Starlets versus Aurora. So the national under-17 team I spoke about a while ago will engage the U17 side or the junior side of Accra Hearts of Oak in a friendly match at 4 p.m. So those of us that will close work early, let's come early and see what Coach Dr. Prosper Nateogum is building with the national under-17 team as they line up against Auroras. Let's see the projects that Hearts of Oak is also doing with their youth side. But the special guest of honor, and when I saw this, I was really excited. It is refreshing that I don't know, but I don't remember the last time any sitting president went to the Accra Sports Stadium or any of our match venues, whether Baba Yara, the Golden City Park, the Kwando Stadium, wherever. But I don't remember any sitting president going to the stadium to watch a league game. We have seen presidents at our football matches, but most of them are ceremonial matches, either the Independence Day Cup or the President's Cup or ceremonial Republic Day Cup when we were playing the Republic Day Cup under President, the late President, His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings. Those were the times that you find the president. But for Premier League fixture and to have the president there is big for us. It tells government commitment to helping us develop our game. But it must not end there. We have a responsibility to keep the momentum when he comes. Whatever experience he's going to have, if he enjoys it, he will come back. So we have that responsibility of delivering to the president. Once the president is going to be there, you are sure other members of cabinet are going to be there. I understand the chief of staff. I've made time on this platform to praise the chief of staff, Honorable Julius Debra, for his commitment to sports, for his dedication, for how he showed leadership. And again, I continue to say that I have not seen any chief of staff of this republic show a lot of commitment to sports. And it is something we must take advantage of. Those of us in the sporting fraternity, those that make the big decisions, those of you that make the things happen, that you have a president who is interested in coming to the stadium to watch a league match. This is not a Hearts and Kotoko fixture. Hearts of Oak Hoho United. The president says, I'm leaving everything that I'm doing and I'm coming. The chief of staff, Honorable Julius Debra, says, I'm coming. He's interested. He's working with media houses. He's working with media personnel, with the corporate people, with the sports people to demonstrate that we need to build a healthy nation, that when people wake up in the morning, in the weekends, we must exercise so that we stay healthy. A project the chief of staff, Honorable Julius Debra, is championing. It means that he has a lot of interest in sports. But when they come, the experience we deliver to them, is it one that will make them come again? We shouldn't come to the stadium and misbehave, be throwing bottles around because we disagree with one refereeing decisions. When we do that, they will not come. When we do that, the corporate organizations will not be interested in putting money. And you see, the presence of these people at our game venues, the president, the chief of staff, the ministers, the cabinet members, it is an endorsement for the league. It is an endorsement for the product. So the corporate institute, oh, the president is at that, the president is going to the stadium. The chief of staff is speaking about it. The launch of the GFA Adesa production, the chief of staff was there. These are endorsements for the football product. So please, let us deliver something that will be appealing to them. The players, the coaches, the kind of football you play, our referees, more importantly, the spectators, our reactions at the stadium, football administrators, those of you that will go behind these supporters and be inciting them to do unacceptable things at our stadia. I'm saying that the president is interested in our league. He's coming to the stadium. We cannot continue to do the things we were doing before, things that brought the game to disrepute. We cannot repeat those things. So please, a number of engagements have gone on. Security. The police that will be coming to the stadium. The president cannot be there and people will be scaling walls to enter the stadium. No, it is not unacceptable. The president cannot get to the stadium gate and the whole place is crowded. It is choked. Cars cannot move. Human traffic. People cannot move. No, we must get the security right. Ghana Police Service, the military, who are occasionally deployed to our match venues, you've got to work. You've got to ensure sanity at our match venues. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for Honorable Chief of Staff for the interest you continue to show in our game. So, okay, there's something I need to touch on with the president's coming. Stoneboy is there. He's in the corner, so I almost missed him. So that's fusing sports. Sports in itself is entertainment. And I've mentioned, after the ordeal we all had to go through at the Accra Sports Stadium to be able to enter the stadium to watch the Black Stars game, I mentioned the pre-match activities. If you go elsewhere, it is a beautiful experience. Those that would want to have their beer, they are having their beer with their families. The environment is conducive. So people go to the stadium early. There's a lot of entertainment. Here, I told someone that Black Stars, if you want to enter smoothly, you must be, the kickoff is at 7. Yes, but latest by 4 p.m. you must be there. He asked me, what would I be doing there at 4 p.m.? Because nothing will happen at the stadium. And that is the truth. So it is good that we have seen Stoneboy here. There's a curtain raiser to provide some entertainment, some engagement for those that will go early. There's also Stoneboy, but we've got to sustain it. But I understand that the 1 million has not been paid. That's what I'm hearing. I don't know whether it is true, but at the launch, Mr. President Edwin Ket Simeon Okraku, you mentioned that the clubs are going to receive the 1 million Ghana cedis before the start of the league. The league is kicking off on Friday. That's what I'm hearing, that the clubs are yet, the money is yet to hit the accounts of the clubs. Let us not, for the confidence that the clubs have got in this administration, the way people spoke, the chief of staff, the majority leader, the minister of sports, President Edwin Simeon Okraku, it brought about hope. It brought about confidence. Let us deliver on the promise of paying these clubs 1 million Ghana cedis before the start of the league, so that we are sure that the heaven on earth that GFA, Adesa Production government have promised will happen. Otherwise, people will lose hope after Friday if the monies do not hit the accounts of the clubs. So please, government, Adesa Production, GFA, we have to deliver. Today is Thursday. Wow. So it's only tomorrow. But magic can still be done. And we expect that it will be done. Let's delve more into the Ghana Premier League. These are the head coaches of the 18 clubs going into the season. Tijani Abdul Rahim Bashiru is there. Masoud Didi. Okay, so Tijani Abdul Rashid is coach of debutant Hoho United. Masoud Didi Dramani is coach for Accra Hearts of Oak. Ahmed Ibrahim Fati is coach for Swedro All Blacks. Frimpong Manso is the defending champions of the Ghana Premier League. He retains his job with Bibiani Gold Stars. There is Sioba Arestica, okay, he joined Aduana at some point last season and he continues with them. Kasib Mingo or Kansas stays with Nations FC. Abdul Karim Zito with Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Winfred Domon, for a very long period of time, had served as assistant coach at Dreams FC. He's been promoted and given the top job at Dreams. Stephen Desmond Isabotri is coach of Bechem United. Bashir Hayford continues to stay with Heart of Lions. Christopher Enin of Samatex is there, and then we have Tanko Ibrahim of Mediama, Nana Jiman of Vision FC, Samuel Bwedu is with Brekum Chelsea, Nuruddin Amadou of Kaila United, Abdul Henan is with Young Apostles, Neo Date Lamte stays with 11 Wonders, and then there's Augustine Evans Adoti of Baseke Holy Star. So these are the 18 coaches that are expected to deliver top-level football in the Ghana Premier League 2025-2026. And then at Metro Sports, we have tipped 4 teams from which we expect one of them to win the Ghana Premier League. Obviously, we cannot overlook BBNE Gold Stars after winning the league and winning the GACA Top 4. They've showed some quality. We feel that they still have the potential to retain the title they won last season. So BBNE Gold Stars is one of our favorites going into the season to win the Ghana Premier League. The most successful club in the history of the Ghana Premier League, Kumasi Asante Kotoko, with the signings they've made. Yes, the GACA Top 4 did not go too well as expected, but the quality they are made of and the quality they showed in their recovery, especially in the Champion of Champions game against the Premier League champions, BBNE Gold Stars, we feel Kumasi Asante Kotoko are also favorite, except that the two clubs will be distracted by their African campaign. And how far they go in Africa will mean they play a lot more games, they make a lot more travels, fatigue may set in at some point. For Asante Kotoko, I know they have a big squad, and the African campaign is enough excuse to have a bigger squad than the rest of the teams. I'm not too sure about BBNE Gold Stars. I know they have some quality, but not too sure about the size of the team. But with Kotoko's experience in Africa, they should be able to strike a balance between playing in Africa and then meeting their target of winning the Ghana Premier League once again. And then there's Accra Hearts of Oak, and we can all attest to the fact that there's a certain form of resurgence within the Hearts of Oak setup. They showed a different character, different team, different style of play, joined the GACA Top 4. They beat Asante Kotoko, arch rivals they had not beaten in 5 straight games. They managed to do that technically, and by the usual football regulations, Hearts of Oak should have been crowned champions of the GACA Top 4, but for the novelty of regulations as employed by GACA, the trophy went to BBNE Gold Stars. Hearts of Oak have got quality. We saw them play against Accra Great Olympics, where they beat Olympics by 2-1, and we feel that Hearts of Oak can also be considered favorites to win the Ghana Premier League. The 4th favorite was a bit of a struggle. In fact, we had to argue, and then we settled on the 4th team. But the teams that came to play included Pando Heart of Lions. They finished in the top 4. Beautiful season last year. Samatex were champions of the Premier League 2 seasons ago, and it looks like this time around they're getting something right in the off-season. The friendlies they have played, we feel that administratively they have one of the best setups in the Ghana Premier League, and they could attempt coming back to win the Premier League. Mediama Sporting Club is another team, one of the most consistently professionally run clubs in Ghana. They're also going to push to win the Premier League once again. They got a new stadium last year. Unfortunately, they were unable to win the league. They would attempt to win the league for the first time playing at the TNA Stadium in Takwa. And then there's Nations FC. So of these 4 clubs, but our pick is Nations FC. Nations FC played so well last season, but for the incident in Baseke, when they played Baseke Holy Stars, they could have even won the Ghana Premier League. They could have won the Ghana Premier League, no 2 ways about that. But for that awful incident, that marred the beauty of the Premier League very late in the season, they could have been crowned champions. We feel that they should be angry and hungry to prove a point this season, and they should fight. And they've also kept a bit of consistency with the players, with the technical direction of the team, and we believe that especially with the resources available to the club should be able to fight for the Premier League title. So these are our top 4 picks for the season: Bibiani Gold Stars, Asante Kotoko, Hearts of Oak, and Nations FC in no particular order. And we'll come to the players to watch. And last season, there were 2 players. I watched some games of Brekum Chelsea, and there were some 2 players that really excited me. Very good players, very talented players, young, but nobody spoke about this player. So I was very surprised when I was reading Ghana Web, and then I came across an article on these 2 players. I said, hey, so I'm not just the only one that I've seen, because there are times where my position differs from a lot of people. Like I mentioned on Otuado, in the game against Mali, everybody says Oto didn't do well. I feel that Oto approached the game the right way, and if I had to score him on the basis of the Mali game alone, I will give him an A for the way he approached the team, how we lined up, how we defended so well, and how even the substitutions he made. I will give him an A for the Mali game. So there are times where my position differs from the masses. And this is one of such occasions that, for me, 2 of the most exciting players, the most talented players in the Ghana Premier League, but nobody spoke about them. So this morning when I was doing a research on the players to watch this season, then I came across this article on Ghana where I said, wow, this guy may have paid attention to these guys. Kwesi Sorotu Badori. He's a midfield dynamo, and that's how the writer decides to describe him. He's just 17 years, I'm told. Yes, the article says, at just 17 years old, Sorotu has already established himself as one of the most exciting young midfielders in the Ghana League. And for those of you that, I'm sure the Brekum Chelsea Asante Kotoko game will be on TV. And if you have the opportunity to watch, look at this guy. He's a defensive midfielder. And at 17, he's commanding a starting place at Brekum Chelsea. He played about 28 games out of 34 for Brekum Chelsea last season at age 17. And Brekum Chelsea is noted for, it's not a club that is noted for giving young players opportunities. So if a 17-year-old is the marshal of Brekum Chelsea midfield, then it should tell you of the quality. This guy is only 17 years, so our coaches, our national team coaches, must be paying attention to this guy and the job he's doing at Brekum Chelsea at just 17 years. And then there's, okay, this one too, he describes him as the little magician. Vincent Ejay, super player. He a lot of the time he's deployed on the flanks. There are times where he's also played as an offensive midfielder. This guy is a gem. I'm challenging you. I say that when they come up against Asante Kotoko this weekend, I don't know whether they will start or they will have a role to play in the game or not. But if they play, watch these guys. Sorotu, Badori, and then Vincent Ejay. Vincent Ejay is also, okay, he's also 17 years. Wow. Then it looks like something is changing at Brekum Chelsea. Or these guys are defying the status quo at Brekum Chelsea, where it is the older generation that is given a lot of opportunities. So 2 17-year-old boys making the waves at Brekum Chelsea, playing mind-blowing football, very exciting, very technical. The vision they have, super talent. Vincent Ejay and then Badori Kwesi Sorotu. Now let me come to the other things that we also, yes, Kumasi Asante Kotoko, and again, on that game, Albert Amoah, one guy who has personally surprised me, because when I learned of his move to Asante Kotoko, when Kotoko were, I said, but I've watched this guy at Accra Great Olympics. I watched him back when he played with Kwesi Asma at Kwaibi Brem. This guy is not exceptional. Why will Kotoko go for this guy? I said to myself, I didn't believe in it, but that is why sometimes the coaches will tell you that they have got the technical eye. I think it was Dr. Prosper Nateogum who brought him to Asante Kotoko, if I'm right. And this guy has proved me wrong, I must admit. Albert Amoah, one of the finest attackers in our league, continues to torment defenders in games. And even when you bring the Kotoko Hearts game, whenever this guy and Peter Amidou Aqua are in games against Accra Hearts of Oak, I know that the Phobians have got very tough customers to deal with. Albert Amoah, undoubtedly with his exploit in the Premier League last season, the quality he's shown in the matches played in the off-season, he's one of the players to look forward to, because he's even built much more experience with Asante Kotoko, and we're hopeful that he will make the experience count. So Albert Amoah is one of the players to watch in the season. Very fine midfielder, one of the finest, intelligent, visionary midfielders we have in our league. Emmanuel Entry, But I don't know whether it was complacency, because at some point last season, he lost it. And he was punished for it because he missed some key games while he was on the bench. But Coach Abdul Karim Zito seemed to have revived the fire in Emmanuel Entry. So at the latter part of the season, we saw him gain some minutes and major roles. And in the matches Kotoko have played in the offseason, he was a real delight to watch in the President's Cup when Asante Kotoko beat Accra Hearts of Oak. Kotoko did not show a lot in the GACA Top 4, but if there are players you can make exceptions, then Emmanuel Entry is one of them. We expect him to be the brightest spot for Asante Kotoko in their midfield, and the level of creativity he adds to the Red Army is just superb. He's one of the players to watch in the season. And then there's Patrick Esiedu. Kotoko consistently had issues with their left side. They had to juggle between players to see, but he seemed to have brought some form of stability within the Asante Kotoko setup, except that, like Otuado said about the Black Stars, left back Gideon Mensah, there are times he wants to show off, there are times he wants to exaggerate, but he's a very good player. And Patrick Esiedu, the left back of Asante Kotoko, is one of the players that we have to watch. And then we made a lot of consultations arriving on the players to watch, and I spoke to Mo Shaban. He says, Michael, if you have not paid attention to Walid Fuseni, please do, because that guy is a gem. His addition to Kotoko brings a lot of depth to the Asante Kotoko squad, and is one player to watch out in the coming season. There's Abdul Karim of Accra Hearts of Oak. The kind of stability the guy has brought to the Hearts of Oak midfield is worth commending. Super talent. Joined Hearts of Oak from Nations FC, and he is expected to give Hearts of Oak a lot of quality, especially as the season. Then there's Aminu Mohammed. This guy had the opportunity to even play at Manchester City, the youth side of Manchester City. Things didn't go well. He's come back home to revive his career. And the quality that we know he's made of, if he can show even 30, 40, 50% of that with Bechem United, he's expected to be one of the most talked about players in the Ghana Premier League. And then, okay, is this Eduku? I want to believe, yes. The Hearts of Oak new striker, Duku, he scored 3 goals already for the Phobians in the off-season, and we expect that he will get a lot more goals for Accra Hearts of Oak. So Duku is also one of the players to watch. Frank Duku, yes, Frank Duku, one of the players to watch in the season as far as the Ghana Premier League is concerned. Then now let me go to my Division 1 players, because I continue to say that there are a lot of quality players in Division 1, except that our clubs, I believe, are not scouting widely. This guy, for 2 seasons continuous, Farouk Mohammed, has been top scorer of the Zone 3 League. And he's left Hohoy after qualifying the team for the Ghana Premier League. He's joined Nations FC. And I'm sure Nations FC came for this guy because of Faisal Chawete. Faisal Chawete 2 seasons ago was second top scorer to Farouk Mohammed. He joined Nations FC, and we know the kind of season he had, scoring goals in and out until his injury, which lowered his firepower a bit. Now the Phobians have come for Farouk Mohammed, and we expect that he will be able to get the goals just as he did in Zone 3. So he's also one player to watch. Another player to watch in the Ghana Premier League who moved from the Division 1 to the top flight is Kwesi Asma. He joined Hearts of Oak in January of last year. So this is going to be the first time he would have a full season with Accra Hearts of Oak. But already he's making waves at the Phobians, brings about a lot of quality to the Hearts of Oak midfield setup. And in the last game Hearts of Oak played, in the Democracy Cup, he came on from the bench and scored a spectacular goal to give Hearts of Oak. When I will use that goal as a bridge between editorial and then the exclusive interview with the Asante Kotoko management member. So Kwesi Asma is going to have his full season with Accra Hearts of Oak, and we believe that he will continue from where he left off last season, where he showed a lot of quality. In the last Premier League game he played for the Phobians, he was man of the match, and so he's expected to do even better under coach Masoud Didi Dramani. This is Kwesi Asma, who joined Hearts of Oak from Division 1 side, Nagod Football Club. So this is Asma in the Nagod shirt. And then Bless Ege tormented Asante Kotoko so much in the final of the FA Cup. Bless Ege then played for Golden Kicks, who played Asante Kotoko in the MTN FA Cup final of 2024-2025 season. I understand he's joined Kaela FC, and he's one of the guys we expect to make a case for the Division 1 league as he joins Kaela from Golden Kicks. Bless Ege. Okay, so that will be it for this edition of editorial. I promise that we're going to react to the president's statement on infrastructure, but we have kept the Asante Kotoko faithfuls in the studios for far too long. And so we'll end here, but you can trust that if we have the grace to return here tomorrow, certainly we are going to touch on the president's statement. I am Michael Kofiodo. This has been editorial.